The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. It's Nico Haan, Paige Clarke on Living a Primal Lifestyle. We got a great show lined up, and it's a real special day here in Clearwater. It's 50 degrees, but we have a new arrival in the family, don't we?
We sure do. We sure do. So Wednesday at 12:54.
Let me put it up right here.
I officially welcomed my new little grandson.
There he is right
and
there.
There he is, and he was so beautiful. And I'm going to tell you guys, I was so proud of my daughter and the way she handled her birth. Really, she got to the birthing center at, she felt that she was in labor around, 12:01.
Yeah.
We had a false alarm a couple of days earlier.
Yeah,
but she knew now, okay, I've got to watch this. Took her shower, did her hair, arrived at the birthing center at 6 a.m., had him just before 1 o'clock, and was back home in her own bed at 4.
Isn't that amazing?
Well, that's what happens when you do a natural primal birth.
Yeah, so explain the natural birthing process in this center, because this is really cool.
This is wonderful, and if any of you are local, Labor of Love in Dunedin is one of the original natural birthing centers here in our area. In fact, the midwife was the #1 licensed midwife in the state of Florida.
Wow.
And how nice is that, Charlene? And we just loved all of the women there. They were so supportive. But when you go there, they're highly trained, midwives are. I mean, I really, quite frankly, think they have more training than an OBGYN. OBGYN is there to do a lot of interventional type of things.
Right.
They're there to work with the mother and encourage her to do what we were primally designed to do.
Now, is it birth in water?
Yes. She actually had a water birth, had a beautiful tub bath, somewhere on Facebook.
That seems so natural.
It was. And we even brought candles, and baby's daddy, Avante, got in the tub, and she really went with her instincts. She got there, and like I said, when she arrived at 6, she was very early, but was fully effaced, 2 centimeters dilated. Every 2 hours, she went another 2, and then at 1 o'clock, just after lunchtime,
was the father present also?
Oh yeah, completely.
Oh, cool.
He was in. Yes, Avante. He's a junior, so his name is Avante Marquis Johnson
Very cool
Jr.
name too.
And yes, Daddy was in the water, very supportive, did a wonderful job. And they started in, she just went with her instinct.
Yeah.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yeah.
And, of course, no intervention, no drugs, lavender. I made her some lavender, and she really likes that. It helps a lot. And so she started with a lot of walking and kind of pacing, and that made her feel good. And I think she really thought she was going to deliver in the water, and she spent most of the time laboring in the water. And but towards the end, decided to get out and got on this squatting birthing chair.
Oh, just like they used to do it in the fields.
Exactly.
Okay.
And they have a little chair that's situated. So she sat on that for a little while and made a lot of progress. And I really loved the way the midwife really worked with her. And she said, well, why don't you just step back and stand up and then use the footboard. And by the way, the birthing center has like a family room and a kitchen, so the whole family is like in another part of the house. And it's just really cool. And so she would, when a contraction would come, she just went to a full squat. And, the midwife was just saying, reach down and touch your baby's head. And you could just see the look on her eyes, the determined, and all I could tell you is this is living primal, folks. And then she said she wanted to climb up on the birth bed. Daddy got behind her. She pushed that baby out, and I just have to tell you, the midwife said, as she was actually pushing, the midwife looked at her and said, Kayla, look down and grab your baby. And it was the most beautiful thing, and she just did, and put him right on her chest, and the baby, and he got to lay right there.
So what's the full name?
Avante Marquis Johnson Jr.
Beautiful.
But he laid, so there was no swishing him away to give him no shots, no anything, no rubbing him off or giving him a bath. All the blood, all the little vernix, all the baby stuff was just right there. And the two of them, we all left the room and let them spend time together. And as I said, they rested, and then we all got to get our hands on him, and then they went home at 4,
nice,
and
nice.
it's wonderful.
Years ago, of course, they didn't allow fathers in the hospital, even in the delivery room at all.
He actually, like I said, when the midwife called her, said, "Kayla, reach down and grab your baby," he was the one that was helping to lift the baby. And
well, something you don't know about me is that I was the first father allowed in the delivery room when my son was born in the early 70s at the hospital, the Children's Hospital in Detroit.
Wow.
And I got to actually help the baby come out and cut the cord.
Yes, and Monte cut the cord
It was
as well.
actually in the newspaper in the Detroit Free Press.
Nice.
And I mean, it was a spread. I mean, I don't think my ex-wife was really that proud of the whole spread, because it showed quite a bit. But it was a very cool thing, and I believe she still has all those pictures and everything like that. But it really solidified for me that connection with my son.
Oh,
right from the start.
And that's what I love. The three of them,
yes.
Spent just no interruptions. Everyone left, and they just sat there. And let me tell you something. He cried, that one little cry when they suctioned his mouth for a second. Immediately he was with Mom, and then he was just looking in everyone's eyes, just gazing and just looking around. So alert, stayed awake, totally looking around for probably, till right before they left, when they put him in the car seat to drive home at 4 o'clock, guys, remember, 3 hours after she delivered him.
That is amazing itself.
He fell asleep in the car, and then I went over and babysat him he slept for 3 hours and let them go get some sleep. Yeah.
Well, congratulations. That is just so awesome.
Thank you.
And when you walked in here, I could see that you were beaming.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to go see him
That's
today.
an experience that everybody should have naturally, but when you experience it, it's really hard to explain that whole feeling that you have when you see the baby for the first time, how small they are, and it's a special thing for sure. And
I really encourage any of you that may be, expecting or have grandchildren or yourselves, just to really look at a natural birthing center. The statistics are very good.
Yes.
And we had a wonderful experience.
Many families now are having children at home even.
Oh, yeah, these midwives will come to your home.
Yeah.
She chose to do the birthing center. And, we were really close to a hospital if there was anything that came up. But, we've got to get back to this. Kind of like what we're trying to teach you on this show. We were designed to do this. Yeah. And I think it was just such a beautiful experience to see her have the birth experience that she wanted.
Yep, I agree. So what's on the agenda today? It's about 50 degrees here, and there's been certainly a cold snap around the whole nation, except in Alaska, where it's still 40 degrees or something like that. But, we've really had this cold snap, and, of course, the flu is going around, and everybody's bundled up here. I mean, everybody's wearing a jacket here in Florida. It's kind of a different thing going on.
Well, with all the things that are going on, I think it's important for you all to remember right now that the most important thing you can do to keep yourself safe from the flu is to keep your vitamin D level up. So I encourage you, if you're up there where it's cold or you're down here where it's cold, doesn't matter, the vitamin D level really helps to prevent flu and colds along with so many other diseases. So it's very simple. Your doctors, a lot of people assume that doctors are checking this, and I want you to know for a fact that they do not. So if you do not ask, it's very rare that they do it prophylactically. You have to ask.
Yeah.
Hand washing is the other great thing.
Yeah. And just building up your immune system, one of the things I did, I knew this 3-week-long cold snap was coming, and I said, well, I'm going to get my chicken feet, put them in the pot. And it was kind of interesting. You snip off the ends of it to where the nails are and just put them in the pot. And I let it boil for about 4 or 5 hours. And I put a little bit of vegetables, not too much in there. And then I put them in containers. And then they really gel up.
Well, that's the important thing.
Yeah, that's the collagen and all that stuff that's in there. And then I put them in the freezer or the refrigerator, and now I've got probably 20 or 30 servings. And what I've been doing with my meal every day is just have a little cup of it.
Well, that's very much the way the French do. And again, as you know, we always talk about the health of the French, despite their smoking and drinking habits, is because they eat high-fat foods. They have a high-fat diet. And consommé, which, we might call it just broth or beef broth or whatever, they have a little bit of that. It sits on the back of the stove, and it's part of an aperitif.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. And I really want you to give us some tips, and maybe we should put this in the newsletter, how to really make sure you get a gelatinous broth.
Yeah, I was really surprised when I take it out of the refrigerator, it's just one big piece of gel.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep.
I've had a number of people, and some of my clients, that are really trying to work on their bone broth skill, and it is a skill. It's a little bit of a thing if you don't get the right bones. But getting some of the knuckles, if you can gas
Big
your butcher
knuckles, yes.
for any of those parts of the beef that
Right.
have more of the joint.
Right.
But the chicken feet are a good part. So, but there's also things you can do because this gelatinous substance is very important. There's actually protein in gelatin.
Okay.
And one of the things that I put in our Tiger Brew is the Great Lakes gelatin. I like to have gelatin with every meal because I'm having protein, and the gelatin is an important part of the protein.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you a question about this. Now, does that help your joints and everything? Because
It helps joints, skin, hair, nails.
Because I notice my nails are like rock solid. I mean, and when I'm snipping them, sometimes I have a problem, just getting this.
That's a fantastic sign. And the other thing I want you to be aware of is that if you have feet, your heels get cracked in the winter, the vertical cracks, you will notice when you're having gelatinous bone broth or augmenting that. I mean, literally, I put the Great Lakes gelatin in our Tiger Brew. So at home, I put 2 tablespoons. I get 12 grams of protein, and I'm getting all this collagen and glucosamine.
The Bulletproof Executive, I was listening to a podcast, and a lot of times he'll put his own little formula of that too.
Yeah.
So he uses the butter and then the MCT oil and then a little gelatin type of thing.
And for those of us that are using the Tiger Brew or Bulletproof coffee, or this what we call the healthy coffee, as a way to start the morning to get some of these fat-soluble nutrients in from our grass-fed butter, adding this gelatin just gives you that little bit of protein as well.
Yep.
And that's what we see, guys, that people that eat animal-based proteins or animal-based foods, the real benefit was seen when they got the gelatin from it as well. And that's why traditionally soups and stews where the bones cooked were so healthy.
Yep.
But the other thing that's important to keeping us healthy is getting good antioxidants. And we know that when we eat animals that are eating healthy food, that they are going to pass along good antioxidants to us. But you and I were doing a little batting back and forth about alpha lipoic acid.
Yes. Yeah. I saw this article that that type of acid actually helps anti-aging. So I'm a big reader of anything that's going to help me stay young, feeling, and energetic naturally. So, having this acid, and then I started looking, okay, where does this, in what foods does this acid, and of course the first thing is...
It's very paleo-friendly type of foods.
It's very paleo because it's mostly from all your organic beef and grass-fed meats and things like that, and then all your leafy green vegetables.
Well, when we get back, let's talk to them a little bit about some of the benefits and why it might be a real good
Sounds like a good idea. Okay, so we'll be back. The number here is 877-927-6648. Please take time to pick up my Health Sickness newsletter. 2 issues a month for only $10 a month on the first and third Friday of every month. We'll be right back.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at directionshares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor, Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back, and we're living a primal lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke and Nico Haan. We've been talking a little bit about supernutrient alpha-lipoic acid, and we want to kind of give you some ideas of what you want to look for when you do take alpha-lipoic acid and where you can find it in your food. We have a caller, and we're going to go to that caller in just a minute, but you were just finishing up before we closed about how ironic is it that this what we call super antioxidant recycler, which is what I like to think of alpha-lipoic as. You take it. It's not real active in the body for long periods of time. Your body does not store this nutrient very well.
So you have to eat it constantly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And I'll explain some of my liquid gold I told you about.
Yes.
But red meat, spinach, broccoli, potatoes, yams, carrots, beets, and yeast. So these are some of the foods that we see this. And then we'll kind of go over a couple of the forms that are most active. I prefer the R-lipoic. I actually prefer the form that is available, has been in the past exclusively available from Premier Research Labs and the groundbreaking work from Dr. Marshall. Do we have a caller on the line? Can we get to our caller?
Yeah, let's talk to Tom. Hey, Tom, how's it going today?
Hey, real good. Chilly up here in Orlando, just like there.
Oh, hey, Tom, you know what? I'm glad you called because I know you're familiar with what I'm talking about. And just real quick before you ask your question, can you talk with me a little bit about DHLA?
I've learned from Dr. Marshall that it's the world's only fully reduced alpha-lipoic acid that's stable. The chemists talk about you can never have DHLA because it's not stable. It's made only inside the cell. But he figured out a way to make the world's first stable dihydrolipoic acid.
Correct. And hold that point, Tom.
No free radical.
Right. So this is a bottle of Neuro ND, which is Premier Research's fully reduced alpha-lipoic acid. And Tom, you can also, share with the people. This is kind of what we call liquid gold because we have not been able to get this product. We're not, it's really funny how whenever someone really comes up with something that works, regulatory agencies like the FDA, just don't like that.
Yeah,
what we're anticipating is that we're going to have this product re-released to us. So anything that's going to come from Dr. Marshall is going to be at the top of the planet. So when I ask people what they should use, this is it. And we usually recommend using this, but I can't offer it to you guys right now because we're in a reformulation because of FDA law. Right, Tom?
Yes.
So do you have a question, or can you give me some more comments on this? Or I know you called because you had a question.
Actually, I had a question about what you were talking about earlier concerning gelatin, and that's just one more area, especially I as a single guy and a klutz in the kitchen, although I have learned to make salads. Weird things that are outside the scope of a lot of 1950s and 60s American suburban, culture. The idea of knuckles and
chicken feet.
All that gross stuff that we throw away,
Yeah.
Right.
I know women in the Philippines. They're mad at American fish markets because we cut the heads off and throw them away.
Right.
They love this. Well, the question I had, I know a supplement manufacturer, a very good one, who makes encapsulated products, and he uses solvent-free vegetable capsules only. He does not use gelatin capsules, and he says that gelatin capsules are bad. I just wanted to see if you could comment on why gelatin is so good if he says that gelatin in capsules is so bad. I just want to see if you have any thoughts on that.
Well, as you and I both know, that there are many manufacturers that are unscrupulously processing and creating gelatin, and they're not vetting out the source of the gelatin from the cows. We've all heard about mad cow disease and some of these other diseases where there could be prions that may not be good for our bodies. So, and I'm comfortable in saying that, the manufacturer that I use and have just referred to specifically will not use a gelatin capsule because of this. But what we know, for example, is the best sources are through meats and foods that you can, the growers, they know that these cows, are growing on grass-fed, on, environments where there's no pesticide. And, but, you're exactly right. We never really know. And that's one of the reasons why I do prefer my supplement manufacturers not use sources that we may not know what that manufacturer is doing as far as the testing.
With everything that we do is we're always looking at where the source comes from. So no matter if it's just your vegetables, you want to go as close to the source as possible. So you get to know these people. That's really the important thing. Listen, we're going to go on a break. You want to hang on for a couple minutes, Tom?
Oh, sure.
Okay. So the number here is 877-927-6648. Remind you that my newsletter comes out on the first and third Friday of every month. So please go up to the newsletter forum at TFNN and take a look at that. And we'll get you started getting this information to you. We'll be right back.
Andy Hecht's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, is going up in price again at the end of this month. Andy's weekly newsletter has delivered multiple profitable trades for his subscribers, even including a triple-digit winner within recent months. Right now is a perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy will also be hosting a subscriber event on Thursday, January 30th, Seasonality in Energy and Agricultural Commodities, that you can gain access to by simply signing up for a free trial to Andy Hecht's newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report. A 30-day free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, a free 60-minute live online webinar with Andy Hecht, which will be archived, and you lock in the low price of $49 a month should you decide to continue after your 30-day free trial. Offers don't get much better than this. Act now before January is over and this offer passes you by. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here on Living a Primal Lifestyle, and we have Tom on the line. And I just want to clarify something that when we're talking about the gelatin, we're talking about the gelatin that capsules, the capsule itself. We're not talking about what's inside the capsules.
Well, what we're trying to say, Tom, is that, I agree that we need to avoid supplements that are in gelatin capsules as much as we can, because we do not know that these manufacturers are vetting out the source of the parts that they use to make these gelatin capsules.
Right.
And Dr. Marshall, who is my mentor with Premier Research Labs, explains the dangers in supplement manufacturers that are using this gelatin. It doesn't take away the fact that gelatin, from making it from bones that you get from cows that are raised in the right way, is a superfood, as we know from the work of Weston Price. You follow what I'm saying there, Tom?
Yeah, okay. In fact, it begins to make sense now, because Dr. Marshall has tested the gelatin capsules, and they all test energetically weak, meaning the human body doesn't want it in it. But I would bet you if you were to do energetic testing on the gelatin from the good animal sources that you're talking about, they'd probably test strong. Mm-hmm. And I would guess that Dr. Marshall would probably say that all of the sources of gelatin capsules he's tested test weak, and apparently nobody's making gelatin capsules from good gelatin sources. That's probably the scenario we got.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. That's why we're really encouraging people to know their farmer. You and I have even talked about the quality of the meats that Jordan Rubin's providing at Beyond Organic, for example. You know that this is a trusted source, and that in fact, if you then secure bones and from a local grower of animals that are grown, that are raised in a humane way, and then you're making your broth. We're always just encouraging people to make their own.
Yeah.
But I also have checked out Great Lakes Gelatin, and they're doing the testing, and I feel good about that as something as an interim source too.
Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot for your call, Tom. Appreciate it.
And thanks, Paige, for mentioning the D3 serum. I just moved and I forgot to get it out. I'm going to start adding D3 serum to my diet today. Thanks to you.
And you know, it's so easy because you can put it on your hand and lick it off.
Yep.
Okay, thanks
Bye-bye.
a lot, Tom. Bye-bye.
I'm all for licking it off, that's for sure. Okay, let's get back to lipoic acid.
Okay.
Because this is found in meats and spinach and broccoli and potatoes, yams, carrots, beets, and also it's in yeast. I didn't know that was in yeast, too.
Exactly.
Well, let me explain before we go any further what this is, because it's an antioxidant that promotes, it really protects your body against many things like cancer and other diseases.
It's actually a rejuvenator of the antioxidants that we all know of, C and E, and it's able to rejuvenate it. What we really like is the R-lipoic acid reduced, but we're going to tell you, like I said, the source that I have is, and we'll have again when it becomes available, is even further, is the farthest reduced, most bioavailable.
What's the difference between the alpha lipoic acid?
It's the absorbability and bioavailability.
Okay.
The further reduced means it's both available in both the fat-soluble and water-soluble nutrients, can help in both ways. Highly effective in rejuvenating your own antioxidants, including glutathione, which is the one your body makes. We're seeing tremendous value in R-lipoic, or DHLA, which is my preferred source, in helping to restore insulin sensitivity. Now, if you all remember, the cell membrane is where it all happens, right? And what's the cell membrane made out of? It's fat. So, you know, we can go there and restore membrane sensitivity. And so we'll recommend that you, and with the R-lipoic or DHLA, which I like, or the fully reduced forms, you need much less to be effective.
Makes sense.
But I will tell you that we do know that it's better taken over a period of time. For instance, our source, My Liquid Gold that I showed you there, we actually put it in your water bottle. And you've heard me talk about sipping a terrific tonic.
Right.
We'll put it so that you're usually sipping it, because it only, and I can't remember, for some reason it's under 20 to 40 minutes somewhere, like it stays in the blood system. So by sipping it, you're getting this blood level of it, so it can stay active.
Right.
The cardiovascular benefits are absolutely astounding. It's actually an anti-inflammatory. It's a powerful antioxidant, as we mentioned, but its lipid-lowering power is super in terms of getting
and it fights the free radicals.
Yeah, exactly. What it really does, too, is protects the endothelium. Remember, we talk about that a lot of the damage is happening from these glycated sugars, which is kind of like a scorching of our membranes. So that's a super nutrient that we wanted to share with you, and we, if you're interested in it, when the DHLA comes out, I'll probably be mentioning it on the air when we get it re-released. If you're interested in good sources, I have some. You can email me at Paige at TFNN and say, I want to know the best alpha-lipoic acid.
Yep. So there's a couple of interesting things that came across my desk. One of the things from the Suspicious Observer that I constantly get an update from every day. He has a little news that he sends out. And one of the things he mentioned is that water found in stardust suggests that life is universal. And the amazing thing is the stardust is actually containing water. So water is pretty much in everything they know now. I mean, that's an amazing thing. So, the stuff that comes from the sun to us, comes from other stars to us, and just lands on Earth, has water with it. So, apparently there's water everywhere. And, of course, without water, human life doesn't exist. So
we are 70+% water.
Exactly.
And water is a crystalline matrix, and it's a transmitter of energy and information, and it's beautiful. And I think really this really lets us know, as we're starting to open up and realize that our Creator certainly has the ability to do all things, and obviously there's probably many more people or places that like us.
It really comes from the source. Whatever that source is, whatever you want to call it, that source has supplied us with an endless stream of water everywhere we go. So I think it's a very cool thing. Another thing that came across my desk was lessons from what they call a MINCOM. Now, a MINCOM is a minimum standard wage that you would get for just existing, kind of. So if we have governments, and the way I make sense out of this is that, of course, all the land was here. We were all living on that land, and now we have governments and corporations saying, well, this land is not really yours. You have to buy a piece of it. You can't travel here. You can travel here. We're making the roads, so you have to pay for the roads and stuff like that. So it kind of makes sense that before we were doing a certain amount of work just to exist. But we did it more as a tribe and as a team.
Right.
Nothing, nobody called us lazy. If there was one lazy person in there, we figured we'd probably call him an idiot for not doing the things that everybody did to sustain each other. But what this does, and they've done these surveys pretty much for many, many years in Canada, Switzerland, and many other countries, and giving these people enough to live on, in other words, shelter, food, education, and some transportation needs. And then the money that you earn extra is what gets your lifestyle up there. And the great thing they're finding about this is, first thing that happens is everybody's health improved. The other thing is costs go down, because now you don't have all these different programs like food stamps and things and checking everything. You don't have to check anything. All you have to do is give everybody some money to live on. So it's kind of the same system as doing away with the money.
So the word is mincome.
The mincome. I don't particularly like that name, but it's a nice basic income.
So what was the amount? I didn't get to see this part.
They don't really mention the amount, but there's several different cities in Canada that did it in the 50s and 60s. And the lady who had this article that I read was, her name is Forget, which is kind of a cool name. One you won't forget, right?
Right, exactly.
But,
Evelyn Forget, right?
It's kind of like the same thing. If you didn't have any money, you would maybe be trading, but probably I think what would happen would be that you started giving things away. And I always think that the most powerful thing is that we give people things.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting because it brings back the idea that we were tribal originally, and that we work in groups, and this cooperative spirit, I think, is coming around again.
Yeah.
I saw something, I think I posted on Facebook too, and I really loved it. Did you see that? And of course, I was very interested in it because it was about birth, but it talked about how African tribes, when a woman is going to conceive a child, she goes to a tree, and I guess you could say she's praying or she's meditating, or she's listening for her baby's song.
Oh.
So she's listening for the baby's song, and she sits there until she hears the song. Okay, so you know how I feel, that life is frequency, it's energy.
It's sound. No doubt
so she
about
hears
it.
the sound, then she goes to find the man in the village that as she's singing the song, he goes, I know that song.
Oh.
And then, because they know the song together, then they consummate a beautiful child together, and then they sing that song to that child. Well, then they teach the whole village and tribes people that song. So the whole village knows that child's specific song. And then as that child grows, if the child goes a wayward way, the village comes to the child and re-sings that song to him to remind him who he is. Wow. I just get goosebumps.
Well,
I think that's beautiful.
Sound is such a powerful medium.
That's a big part of what I do in my office, as you know.
I know you do.
I believe that really what heals us is energy, and it's evoking that healing spirit that resides in each of us. And that's why I believe so strongly in cell-resonant nutrition, as inspired by Dr. Marshall's incredible work. Cell-resonant, if we get the right resonancy, that our cells can do wonderful things and our bodies can heal. And that resonance, though, is not just available in foods and supplements. It's available in light. It's available in sound. It's available through essential oils. It's available through homeopathy. And it's really just determining what frequencies someone needs or is lacking so that they can then do what they do, which is get well on their own.
I was coming home from the jiu-jitsu yesterday and feeling really good, and I thought, well, a lot of times I listen to podcasts on the way home. I said, I'm going to change. I want to listen to music. I put on Carolyn Cole, K-O-L-E. Please look her up. 16-year-old wonder, and she's got a new album out.
And she's a local girl for us.
She's a local girl for us.
And she's only 16 years old. And folks, if you ever listen to any of her music, it's like a master storyteller.
Yeah.
She's getting some information from somewhere.
Oh, she's an ancient soul. So I was listening to her song, and the last song came on as I was pulling up the driveway, so it was perfect timing. But this energized me so much because her songs, it's not like going fishing, I got my truck and that type of thing. It's real deep stuff. One of her songs is called When, and when will I ever stop stopping myself from being successful?
Right.
You know, things like that. And I mean, her inspirational. I mean, it was just, I got home and I goes, wow, this was incredible.
And she writes all of her own songs.
Yeah. So please
beautiful.
look up Caroline Cole, and one day I'll get my producer to play one of her tunes as an outro to our program, because it's really important, I think, to stress to people how neat this young girl, just 16, has been writing for half her life and playing guitar.
So that put her at about 8?
Yeah, she started when she was 8. That's when she got her first guitar. So please look up Caroline Cole, Kole, and buy her EP. It's $8. It's really amazing. The other thing I wanted to mention too, my professor's birthday today. He's 45, I believe it is, and Eduardo changed my life.
Eduardo, he's a super guy.
He's a super
Amazing
guy and a master at jiu-jitsu, and he's really helped me. Enter this whole jiu-jitsu life. I just signed up for the Pan Ams today.
Awesome.
And so I'm registered, getting ready to go, getting my plane ticket, and it's March 12th through the 16th. I'll probably be fighting on the 15th, and it'll be first time as a black belt.
Awesome.
And I'm doubling up my butter and my MCT oil in my coffee, so I have extra energy. And it's really working, folks. It's really working, this diet. I'm telling you, when I get on the mats, I mean, I have 3 or 4 fights, and I still have the energy. I mean, I amaze myself sometimes just from the energy I have, because I know it's coming from my food and my lifestyle. And that's how important
it's coming
the lifestyle
from using the right fuels. And, here we go again. 2 popular foods may turn the immune system against the brain. Guys, this is coming from Green Med Info. We love that site. Always stating and citing published research that is available to everyone, but you're not going to hear a lot of the research because they oftentimes, go against the food and pharmaceutical industry, because the food and pharmaceutical industries are only going to promote. But again, we're talking about wheat and milk.
And not the kind of milk that you drink.
No, and so when I say that, I don't have any problem admitting that milk is a potential allergen. But why is it an allergen? Because we're drinking the wrong kind of milk. In this country, most of our milk, if we are drinking it, is coming from a strain of cows that is not the most prevalent one that we drank for our ancestral heritage. That's why I like a lot of Jordan Rubin's fermented beverages, milk beverages.
Yeah.
But also the way they process the milk and the pasteurization and the homogenization that turns it into a trans fat. So whenever you're having illnesses or having body issues, it's always wise to eliminate the offending foods. And we know those are, soy and wheats,
and the other one is
all
wheat,
grains and dairy, the nightshades. So.
And also, eggs are a problem for a lot of people, especially if you get eggs from the normal grocery store.
And why? Because the eggs are probably eating soy.
Yeah.
They're feeding them cheap feed, and we know that soy is already one of the offending. So are we eliminating the egg because we think there's something inherently wrong with the egg, or is it because the way the egg was produced, the way the chicken was fed, the way that the lack of nutrition, the chemicals that are in the feeds, the GMOs that are in the feeds? So,
So wheat and milk is the 2 mentioned there.
Yeah, exactly.
Folks, we'll be right back. Please pick up my Health Signals newsletter. I got a new issue coming out at the first of the month, but the last one is packed full of stuff you really
gotta know.
Find out how to live the Primal Lifestyle. So 877-927-6648 is the phone number here, and Paige and I will be right back.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pezzamento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now, you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pezzamento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Up next, the Diagnostics Trading Hour with Carol Martin here on TFNN.
Welcome back, everyone. And as you can see, we have our beautiful little songbird up for you to see, Carolyn Cole. Maybe you'll take a few minutes today and listen in on some of her beautiful music. And I think you were showing her tour. We're lucky enough she's coming back to the Strawberry Festival.
Yeah, it's she's in Nashville, of course. That's where she's living now. And she goes to the Strawberry Festival here in Plant City. And she's all over the place, really. She's coming to Skipper's Smokehouse, which is a great venue in Tampa. But she'll be doing again this summer. She's in school, of course, but this summer she'll be touring again. I don't know who she'll be touring with. Last summer was Reba McEntire. She was opening, so
Very
dynamic
nice.
thing. You had another thing that you were talking about, gum, because a lot of people chew gum. And I think you need to know what's healthy gum and what's not.
Yeah, I think it's real easy for us to just pop that gum and not really realize what's in it. And what we found out is it has the toxic GMO ingredients, corn syrup, and nerve-disrupting aspartame. And aspartame, you can just find out, folks, this is a very dangerous sweetener. We do not want it. I can't believe it sits out in these little packets on these tables. So, you know, you go to any restaurant and there it sits.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing is, of course, we can go to the health food store, and they have substitute gums. My wife loves to chew gum, and when I took her to the health food store and says, look, here, try this, and she loved it.
Right. And, you know, there's xylitol gum. Xylitol is a healthy sugar that actually enhances tooth enamel. So if you or your kids are chewing gum, you might want to go check out this article at naturalnews.com. But we're finding that there's more chemicals, pesticides, and herbicides in these chewing gums than they're letting you know. And so that would be a great way to do it, is to kind of get away from it and go get a healthy source of chewing gum.
And, you know, I see all sports figures are always having chewing gum and stuff
Oh,
like
and that Gatorade gum and everything, it's not good. It's got some nasty stuff in it.
So you're going to be with your baby all week. This is going to be so cool for you. So it's a whole change in life for you.
It really is. It really is. And I'm excited and just really, like I said, I'm in awe of how it just came natural and very primal to.
Well, you know, being primal is the part of the whole thing is being with family. Exactly. And family, when I go see my kids, and it's really a shame that we're thousands of miles apart. Mm-hmm. I really feel bad about that part of it. But when we come together, that feeling lasts a long time. And that's what, I guess, gets me through the months when I don't see them.
I was visualizing that, too, you know, during the birth, how in a tribe or in cultures, it was something where the people were there to cheer on. Yeah. It's quite challenging. Yeah, it's a celebration, and it's challenging, and it's like we go to sporting events and we cheer people on to run. Why can't we do that for our mothers instead of separating them with gowns and masks?
And that's the way the passing of people should be, too. It should be kind of more of a celebration because, you know, the way I look at it, the ultimate goal is the death.
Well, you know, I read somewhere that, you know, when they say that we're only using 10% of our DNA, the other 90% you think it's just, and they refer to it as junk DNA. What do you think it's doing? No, that's what we use when we go where we go.
Yeah, well, nobody knows where we go, but we do go somewhere, and too bad nobody comes back, or very few people come back and tell us, because there are some people that say, well, I've been contacted here and there. Some people call it heaven, some people call it hell, and some people don't call it anything. And that's kind of the way I am. My dad always taught me, I don't know is one of the most powerful things that you can say to yourself. That leaves open the question, and not only that, it keeps you investigating. And I think it's very important to experience these things and not run away from these things, to envelop yourself when somebody dies or somebody is born, envelop yourself in that and experience it as a whole and be part of it. And then I think you start learning things.
I like what you just said about being open to new information. You know, I think that's really important when it comes to our health, is that we realize that new information is coming out, but sometimes this new information is actually old information, and now we're just open enough to accept it and reveal it.
Yeah. Bob Ellen said
we got a lot of good stuff. We'll have to put it in next week, it looks like.
Yep. I guess so. That's the show, and thanks a lot for sticking around, and let's celebrate the new birth of Avante. What a cool name. And listen to Caroline Cole, and don't chew that nasty gum. Okay? We'll see you next week.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.